All right, welcome everyone to our success meetups, tips, tricks, and Q&A. So if you are here live, welcome. If you are here watching the replay on YouTube, also welcome. Now, if you want to attend a live session, you can either highlight this QR code and it'll take you right to the registration page. You can also access the registration page from right within KV Core itself if you look at our live training calendar. We do these 3 times a week, generally Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so again, live training calendar. You scan that QR code, it'll take you there. All of these are recorded. They're that was great English. They are put onto our YouTube channel. If you are watching the replay, you have already found that. If you are here live, I'm going to put into the Zoom chat a link to that playlist. So there's a channel with lots of stuff, and there's the playlist with these things specifically. Okay. All right. So that's kind of my housekeeping. That's kind of out of the way. Now I'm going to go through, and if you are here, one more resource. I also have a document. Now I need to make a lot of edits and updates to this, so I will do that by the end of my day. But a lot of the things that I'm going to reference, like articles, I'm going to put into this outline. So if you are here live with me, right there in the chat, you can click on that. If you are watching the replay, it'll be down below in the description. So you can click on it and get the resources there as well. Again, I apologize. I wanted to have this all fleshed out before we started. I didn't, but I will get that done today. So before the recording is posted. All right, so today we are going to talk about building a smart campaign for your unengaged leads. So a couple things we need to talk about. What's a smart campaign? What type of campaign are we going to create here? And who is an unengaged lead? How do we get them engaged? So that's the purpose of today. So first, what is a smart campaign? A smart campaign is a pre-created action plan. That's it. It's a pre-created action plan. You might call it a pre-created system of follow-up. I kind of like both. I kind of go back and forth. Now, a smart campaign has all kinds of activities in it. Let's look at them. So if I hover over marketing on the left-hand side, I can click right on smart campaigns from that pop-out menu. Or if I click on marketing, I can find my smart campaigns being the first blue item and click manage campaigns. Okay, so smart campaigns are pre-created plans of action. So for example, if I have a closed deal, then my plan of action here is for an email to get sent out after 30 days. I don't need to send it. It goes right to the contact. And then 3 days after that, KV Core will schedule, so the system will schedule a call for me to make. Then 60 days later, so a total of 90 days has passed now, an email goes out to them and asks for referrals. So this is my plan of action. There's emails that are sent, text messages that are sent, calls that are scheduled. We have tasks that can be scheduled. If I look at add action over here, there's a whole lot of things that I can do. Zapier and webhooks are a little advanced for today, so we're not going to touch on those today. There is another webinar on Zapier in this playlist if you want to check that out. The ones that we will likely do today are emails, text messages, tasks, and calls. We might even remove a tag or change a status. We'll talk about that. So all kinds of things that we can automate in this smart campaign. So that's what a smart campaign is. I also want to point out how smart campaigns start. So smart campaigns start when, or are triggered by, so it's the same thing, how they start or how they're triggered, how they attach to a person when something happens. So that something that happens can be all kinds of things. So it can be when a lead is new from a specific source. So maybe I'm building a smart campaign for all of my new leads from my squeeze pages or from my smart social leads in the marketplace. Maybe I am starting a campaign when I add a specific hashtag to a contact. This is the one we're going to do today. We are going to make a smart campaign that is triggered or attaches when or starts when I add a hashtag to someone. I can advance that and kind of like layer those things. So if I wanted to do like a certain status, which is how all of our default ones are built. So for my sphere of influence, who also have a hashtag of friends and family, this is their smart campaign. So those are all kind of labels, okay? And all of those campaigns are built off of time frame, like the one that we looked at, right? I add you and that's day one. Actually, it's day 0. So then 30 days later, you get an email. And then 3 days after that, there was a phone call. Then 60 days after that, that email got sent out. That's the campaign that we're going to build today. You can build date-based campaigns. So if 2 days before someone's birthday, I want to be given a task to call them, I can build a date-based campaign for that, right? If I'm having an open house on the, or let's say I'm having a client appreciation event on April 30th, then on April 1st, I want to email out the invite. And then on April 2nd, I want to text them to see if they got it. And then on April 25th, I want to send them a reminder email, right? So it's going to go on the actual date. So those are smart campaigns in a nutshell. We have all kinds of webinars to walk you through those. We have a really good one on campaign basics and advanced campaigns, all in this playlist. But I wanted to make sure we all know what they are before we dive in. Now, the purpose of the campaign we're going to build today is to engage our unengaged leads. So for today, our unengaged leads, I'm going to define it the same way it's defined in our Agent Quick Start course, which is a prospect, a new lead, or an active lead with no search alerts, smart campaigns, or market reports. So let's look at that visually. If I go into the Smart CRM, this is where all of my leads and all of my contacts live. Let me go ahead and clean this up just a little bit real quick. There we go. Okay, all my leads and my contacts live here, right? Now, the first thing that I mentioned is called a status. Okay, lots of you are familiar with the status. For those of you who are not, the status is how close that person is to becoming a client. The 3 statuses that I mentioned are prospects, new leads, and active leads. We're looking at those 3 specifically because these are the people that I want to become my clients, right? Sure, my sphere might become my clients, but I engage with them differently, right? My clients are my clients. My closed used to be my clients, but prospects, new leads, and active leads are the people that you want to become your clients. So that's how we're going to focus on those 3 people. We're also going to focus on our 3 main systems of automated follow-up. So if I look at my record, my detail, where I am right now, and I scroll down on the right-hand side, these top 3 are like the big 3 systems of automation, right? If I want KV Core to be powered all the way up and doing the most work for me possible, I want my contacts on these 3 systems, at least 2 of them, at least a smart campaign. So I'm encouraging them to talk to me, at least a market report or property alert. So they're being driven back to my KV Core website. so I can engage with them and see what they're doing and trigger behavioral alerts. Right? So I want them on at least 2 of these. A truly unengaged lead is not on any of them. Okay. So I have my filters here in KV Core. It's going to allow me to say, here's all of my leads, and then let me narrow down or filter for a specific group that I'm looking for. So in this case, first I'm going to select those statuses. I'm going to select prospects, new leads, and active leads. Okay, that's my first criteria. The contacts I'm looking for have to be one of those 3. Then I'm going to scroll down and look in this behavior. If you're taking notes, I would write down behavior and put like a star next to it to call more attention to it. So this behavior is where we're going to look. And we're going to see who has no search alerts, right? Because I want people on search alerts. I'm going to see who has no market reports and who does not currently have a running campaign, right? So these are the truly unengaged leads people, right? I am not sent, there's nothing going out to them automatically. So if I'm not being mindful and conscientious about how I'm working them, they're going to forget me, right? Maybe I'm calling them every month. Okay, that's great. But I'm glad that you're doing that. You know, might not need this lesson today. But for most of us, we need help with following up with these people that aren't taking up like the front of our mind space. So prospects, new leads, and active leads. I scroll down to behavior and I select no search alerts, no market reports, and does not have a running campaign. I'm going to scroll down further and there is this bright green apply filters, but we are going to save our filter. So scroll all the way down and select save a filter. You could call this whatever you want. I'm going to call this unengaged leads. Check my spelling there. Okay. Now I can save it, but I'm also going to pin it to the top. So it's really easy for me to find. And then I save that filter. Whoops. And I already have this filter, apparently. That's what that's telling me. So I'm just going to add some symbols so it's technically a different name. Great. So I have 22 people out of 140. You might have 500 people, you might have 0 people. But as we talk about unengaged leads, this is who we're talking about. Quick sidestep, you can define unengaged however you want. As we build out our campaign today, this is what I'm going to be working on, is these unengaged people. I do want to let you know that the campaign that we build out today, I'm going to give you a share token. So that shared token will be right here on this outline. So you don't need to actually build this campaign with me right now. I'm just going to give you a token so you can add it right into your KV Core account. I still want you to stay here with me because I want you to know what we're doing in case you build this for yourself in the future, or in case you want to, make some changes or something like that. But I want you to know that I'm going to share this with you. Okay, so you can make other filters. So for example, maybe for me, the thing that's important is that my sphere of influence is on a market report. So I want to see my sphere of influence who's not on a market report. Maybe for me, the thing that's important is that all of my buyers are on search alerts. So I'm going to see which buyers do not have search alerts. If those are filters that are important to you, quick hint, they're important to me, save those too, right? Save this buyers without search alerts. And you can take the smart campaign that we're going to create today, make a copy of it, and make some tweaks and changes so it applies to this new group that I have, right? So for me, just so you all know, if I was an active agent, the most important thing to me, I would have 2 filters. One, I'm going to keep a filter of who's not on a running campaign because I want everyone on a campaign. And 2, I'm going to have a filter for who's not on a search alert or a market report, because those do very similar things of nurturing and dripping with real estate info. So I care that people are not on those. So my active business, that's what I'm going to do. This unengaged leads filter is a great place to start, and that's what we're going to do. So accessing this filter, let's say I just log into KV Core. I work my dashboard like I should, and then I go to my smart CRM. I'm just hovering over my smart CRM and I can already see my unengaged leads because I pinned it. I pinned this filter, so it's really, really easy for me to get. If I didn't pin it, then I would click Smart CRM to get here. I would click on filters, and then I have a whole bunch of saved filters I can do. So we're going to build a smart campaign today, but if you wanted to maybe just take pieces of what we're doing, for example, those buyers without search alerts, you can mass email a save filter or any filter. You can mass text a filter. You can video message if you have the paid add-on. You could do all kinds of things, including scheduling mass emails. So if you'd rather take that approach and schedule mass emails, you could do that too. That's not what we're going to talk about today, but you could do that too. So I have a bunch of save filters that are important enough to save, but apparently weren't important enough for me to add as a pin. So I have a bunch of filters in here. You can always go back and delete something or decide, this is important on the first Monday of my month to reach out to my sphere. I've been forgetting that. So let me add it as a quick link so it's front of mind for myself. So you can do things like that and make some changes. All right. Now, the last step after we build our smart campaign is going to be coming back in here and adding my smart campaign to people. So you're going to want to run your filter. So for me, it's that unengaged leads. And I only have 22 people. You might have a giant list. And you'll want to think about how many people you want to add this campaign to at a time. Now, you might say, well, Christina, I can add campaigns to 250 people at a time. So of course, that's what I want to do. I would highly caution you against that, because the idea of a campaign is to get someone to respond to you. And so if I send out 250 text messages at once, and even half of those people respond, that's too many for me to manage. So just keep that in mind as you're adding smart campaigns to people. I like to do, if I'm doing the same campaign, I'll do like 20 people a day, right? That's pretty manageable to me. You could decide that you're going to add 20 people and then let the campaign run its whole course and then add it to 20 more people. Or if you have the bandwidth, you could add 20 people today and 20 people tomorrow and 20 people the next day. You could do that too. For this campaign, it's going to be kind of like high touch for about a week or two. So I'm only going to add like maybe 2 days in a row and then wait till one of the cycle ends, because that way I can manage my contacts. So if you're going to add this campaign to a group of people, you're going to select the number of rows that you want. You can go up to 250. I'm stuck at 10 in my demo account. And then you can either hand select. So maybe I click the box next to Carmen and the box next to this pool home whose name I don't know, and the box next to Carrie and the box next to Heather. And then I'm going to click more actions. In this case, as we go back and build our campaign trigger is going to be with a hashtag. So I'm going to add a hashtag to this group of people and start that communication with them. So I wanted to get there first, show you how to implement in case any of you drop off early. So now let's go and build our campaign. Now that we know who we're going to send it to, how to find them, and how to add the campaign, let's build out our campaign. So I'm going to go back to marketing and go back to my smart campaigns. And I'm going to add a campaign from scratch. Let me show you one more thing. As I mentioned at the end of today, there's going to be a share token available to you. If you are watching the replay, it's going to be here in this doc, and the doc is below in the description. So if someone has shared a campaign with you, all you need to do is click this kind of copy icon here on the right and paste in the share token and then click enter. And then it's going to take a little while for it to load up, but once it loads up, it'll be there. Okay. Now, some of the templates I'm going to build are going to direct people to my KV Core website, me, right here, Christina. Okay. And so before you actually apply this to anyone, you want to go and edit this campaign. I did put this here, right? Be sure to edit the templates before you add the hashtag to the contents. Contacts, I'm going to go ahead and even just like highlight that red because I don't want you to send your leads to my website. I want you to send them to your website. Okay, so now that my big red caution is done. So now let's add a campaign. Now, with our logic, as we discussed, I want to start this campaign when I add a hashtag. I'm going to have this hashtag be unengaged. I'm not feeling very creative today. Unengaged. So as I add hashtag unengaged, this will start this smart campaign. Let me add this in here. The smart campaign is triggered by the hashtag unengaged. Now, when you copy this campaign in, you are welcome to go in and edit that. Maybe you hate that hashtag and want it to be something else. Once you get this campaign and make it yours, you are welcome to change that hashtag. This is just the one that I'm building. So hashtag unengaged, that's it. I scrolled down. Now I want this campaign to always run, I'm gonna say, this is a good question because I'm gonna say always run. I'm gonna say always run yes, because I want this campaign to continue going even if another campaign attaches. So no, okay, no, always run no. To think about that, because if I add another smart campaign to this person, now they're on some kind of engagement, or they're on a smart campaign. So I want this campaign to stop running. I want this to fall off once they're on something. Okay, that's what I want. Always run no. Locked really only applies if you're an admin. Admins, locking means that if you put locked yes, then your agents underneath your scope cannot turn this off or on. They have to use it, and they are held accountable to whether or not they complete their calls and their tasks in there. So for our purposes, we're going to leave it as no, but I did want to call that out. And then we're going to click next. By the way, please ask me questions as we're going. I get really excited about these things. Throw it in the chat if you're live, raise your hand and I'll unmute you, put things in the Q&A, take notes or just watch, whatever makes you happy, because this is being recorded. But yeah, I want to remind you, please ask me questions. Okay. Now, of all of our deal types, who is this campaign for? It's definitely for my buyers, right? Anyone who's potentially looking for a home. It's also going to be for my sellers, anyone who currently owns a home. It's also going to be for my renters. I'm not going to put my vendors on this or other agents. I don't want these people on that. So buyer, seller, renter. And I click next. Now I get to name it. So what do we want to name this? I guess we'll just call this, what is this? Unengaged leads. Yeah, that's a great one. Unengaged leads campaign. Here's a pro tip for you about smart campaigns. Always add your initials. I am also going to add do not delete. Oh, maybe I'll add that to my description. That's going to be a note for myself not to delete it. So that way, there we go. Because if I delete it, you still have it. So no worries there, but nobody new can get it. So I want to make sure when I'm going through a cleaning phase that I don't delete this. Okay. You can delete this description though. When you copy this campaign, feel free to delete that part of the description because you can do whatever you want. That description is for me personally. Also, feel free to take my initials out and add your initials. So this is a campaign and it is designed to get my contacts on at least one system of automatic follow-up. Get my contacts on a search alert. Here we go. Market reports or smart campaign. There we go. Okay, I like that better. It's a little bit clearer. So make that the goal. Goal. All right, so again, you can erase the do not delete. That's for me. But this is for my unengaged leads. And my goal is to get my contacts on a search alert, market report, or smart campaign. Next. Gives me a nice reminder. So it starts when I add hashtag unengaged to anyone who's a buyer, seller, or renter, regardless of their status. And the goal is to get my contacts on a search alert, a market report, or a smart campaign. Dig it. Finish. So now when you're creating a campaign, you've kind of just made like the outline. It's like starting to write a paper. I did my outline, but I have to write my content. So unengaged, I'm going to search for it. Unengaged. There it is. Okay. So now let's think about my goal, right? My goal is to get my contacts on a search alert, a market report, or a smart campaign, right? It's a pretty straightforward goal as far as I'm concerned. So the way to do that is to get them to talk to me, right? That's a great way to get them on those follow-up systems. So if they talk to me right away, then I can put them manually on these different systems of engagement, right? If someone answers my phone call and I talk to them, I can ask them if they want to be on our market report, or I can just tell them I'm putting them on our market report. I can do that and then remove hashtag unengaged. They're no longer on this smart campaign. Okay. So those are my goals: to get them to talk to me and to put them on one of my top 3 systems of automation so they're never going to forget me. Okay. That's my goal with this campaign. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is some kind of outreach. So I think we're just going to start with a phone call. We're going to add an action in here and we're going to add a call. Now I can use any existing template. I am just going to call and leave a voicemail. Call and leave a voicemail. Okay. And I am going to do that as a task reminder so it shows up in my dashboard. If it's my first call, I can actually have the KV Core Smart number call me. So that is an option in here, which is cool. That's not what I'm going to do. So this is going to be first call to engage. And I am going to run it immediately. So as soon as I add people to the Smart campaign, I'll get scheduled a phone call to do. Save. Perfect. So if on that first phone call they talk to me, perfect. I can put them on a search alert, smart campaign, market report, and remove hashtag unengaged, right? If they don't respond to me, that's fine too. The next day, I'm going to send them an email. Now, my goal here is to again, get them to re-engage with me. So there is an email template. There's 2 email templates that I really love for this. You can pick one or the other. I like the imported leads default email. Okay. It says, I just wanted to check in. Hi, first name. As I always strive to provide the best customer service, I decided to adopt new technology, do a spring cleaning of my database. I'm reaching out to everyone I've helped, showed houses to, or discussed real estate needs with throughout the many years that I've been in business. If you are a brand new agent, change this from many years to time. Okay. It'd be extremely helpful if you could let me know where you are in the process. Are you actively searching to purchase or sell and in need of assistance? Are you planning to resume your search in the near future? Did you already buy or sell and don't want to think about it? Congrats. As they respond, you can change their status. Changing someone's status will trigger a smart campaign that's appropriate for them if you have one on. Further, my new website directly connects you to my MLS to view 100% of all currently available listings, as well as my off-market listings too. Check it out here, and it has a link to your website. We want them to go to your website because I'm hoping they're going to look at properties. And if they look at properties on your KV Core website, it will put them on a search alert. So that's my goal here. Personally, we also talk about millions mapped, and while I like millions mapped, it doesn't play well with every MLS. And since I have lots of different agents on here, I'm just going to take that part out for us. So this is going to be the imported leads default email, no millions mapped. And I'm going to save that change. Oh, and I still need to name it. So this is first email to engage. It's going to go from me to my contact. At least that's what it's going to look like. And I'm going to run this the day after I call them. So day number 1. Oh, there we go. Save that change. Now I'm going to follow up that email right away. Refresh. Told me it was added. There we go. Just need to hit refresh. I'm going to follow up that email with a text message because we have an imported leads default text. Hello, I just sent you an email about cleaning up my database of past and current clients. I wanted to follow up with this text. Can you tell me if you are searching to purchase or need already bought and sold? Congrats. Okay. This is going to be first text to engage. It is going to go from the agent to the contact, and it is also going to run on day number 1. Save. Okay. So far we have a phone call, we have an email, we have a text. Great. Hopefully they respond, and if not, that's okay too. So now I want to continue along with my goal. My goal is to get them to talk to me. My goal is to get them to engage. So I am going to add an action, and I am going to send them an email to try to put them on a search alert. I'm going to look through my templates. See if I like this one. Okay, that's not quite what I want. What's that one? Don't want that one. There's a lot of good templates in here. Oh, buyer first email. I don't want that one. I'm just kind of perusing around and seeing if I like anything. These conversation starters would be good. Oh, this is a good one. Hi, first name. Welcome to my new site. I want to welcome you to my new website. Here you can look for homes, request a home valuation, and more. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'm happy to have you here. So if you like this one better than the one that I added, go ahead and change it. I'm not really in love with any of those. So I'm going to think about my goal here. My goal is to get them on a search alert, a market report, or a smart campaign. And I'm going to leverage squeeze pages to do that. So I opened another KV Core, so I didn't have to toggle back and forth. Now we're not going to do a full squeeze page training today. There's plenty of those in this playlist. We're going to go kind of fast. Okay. One, make sure the squeeze page is pointing to your KV Core domain. If you're a single agent or a non-team, non-admin, that'll be the only option anyway. Okay, we have a lot of squeeze pages. So in a nutshell, what they do is squeeze pages invite people to essentially go to your KV Core website and sign themselves up for either being a lead or for a system of follow-up. Right, so those follow-up, if someone looks at a multi-property search results, the follow-up we put them on is a search alert, search results being sent to them, right? If someone is we can also get them a home valuation, we can get them a market report. For today, we are going to leverage multi-property and we are going to leverage market reports. Okay, so my idea with this template is to try to put them on search alerts. Now, if they did not get themselves on a search alert already by going to my website on their own, I'm going to make it even easier for them. I'm going to give them another way to get to my website. So I'm going to basically give them the search criteria that they might want. This is what you will want to edit. You will want to redo these squeeze pages, okay? So I'm going to do 2 because I like to give people options. You could do 3 even. For the sake of time, I'm just going to do 2, maybe do 3. My goal here is to think of what are some popular searches in my area that are in alignment with what I want to do with my business, right? So for example, if you would never work rentals, do not put a search in here that's going to include rentals. If you only work in one city, don't put a search that's going to be outside of that city. Make this beneficial to your business. So I'm going to put, and I'm going to do 2. It can be any 2. So I might do one search for like an entry level home price point in my area, and I might do another search for like that next move up home, right? Those might be the 2 searches that I do. Maybe I do work in 2 different cities, so I'm going to do, here's a search alert for this city, and here's a search for this city. Maybe it's school districts that people are really interested in. So I can draw my different school districts on a map. Be careful with that. School districts change. So just a word of caution. But that's the kind of thing you want to think about. What are 2 really popular searches for properties in the area that I do business in? Again, change these so they make sense for you. So I'm going to do Oceanside Homes. That's the city I work in. And then I'm going to do something entry level. So I want it to be a condo, a townhome, or a single family. And I am going to price it under $650. And just to make sure I don't get any rentals, I am going to put a minimum on here, and I'm going to do a minimum of like 200. Okay. The idea here is I want it a little bit vague. I don't want to be super, super specific. I can, when I build squeeze pages, add all kinds of other criteria. For the purpose of this, we're not. We're going to do the city of Oceanside, kind of what would be considered an entry level. This is definitely still maybe like 550. Oh man, prices here just exploded like they did everywhere. So, okay, that's what I'm going to do. My source here for my leads is going to be unengaged campaign, right? Because they're already in my CRM. So if they register on my site with the same email address that they have in KV Core, perfect. It's just going to add the alert. But if they register on my site with a different email address, it's going to make a new lead. So I want to be able to catch that. If I get a new lead with the source of unengaged campaign, I know I need to do a little bit of homework and merge my leads together. I could even pre-hashtag these. Why the heck not? Buyer, Oceanside. I could do the price point under $650. Buyer, Oceanside, entry, something like that. I want them to view like just 2 properties before they register, and then I generate my link. So I'm going to take this super cute link and put it into my email template. So I want to tell them what they're getting. Now I'm going to do a different one. I'm going to build a new squeeze page. I'm still going to stick in Oceanside because that's where I want to work. But now I'm going to go for kind of more of a luxury feel. And I'm going to go for something with a waterfront. And I'm still going to do a minimum because I want to avoid rentals. But I'm not going to do a maximum in this scenario. Again, you will want to build squeeze pages that make sense for you. It might be around a certain school district. It might be around a certain high school. It might be maybe you want to do rentals. Work with those renters. They'll remember you. Again, I'm going to source this my engaged campaign, and I'm going to generate that link. Copy that link. They're not going to see it anyways. Doesn't matter which one you pick. So if you're interested in properties under 650 in Oceanside, California, click here to be updated regularly when new listings hit the market. If you are looking for something on the ocean, look no further than these ocean front, oceanside homes. So again, make this email make sense for you. So now that I know what they're getting, I need to give them some kind of engagement. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to include their first name. So there's some personalization. Hey, first name, I noticed you aren't getting properties. I noticed you might be out of the loop on real estate inventory, right? I noticed you might be out of the loop on real estate inventory. That's a nice way of saying you're not getting search alerts from me. If you're interested in properties under 650,000 in Oceanside, California, click here to be updated regularly when new listings hit the market. If you're looking for something on the ocean, look no further than these oceanfront, oceanside homes. I like that. I might even do another one, just for fun. If you'd like something else, give me a ring and I can set you up on something custom. Best Christina. I'm then going to include my phone number. And I can use my merge tag for that if I want to. hopefully I know my own phone number. I'm going to insert a link again for my agent website. There we go. Okay, I like that. So this is first attempt to add search alerts. Missing something? And I'm going to add an emoji because it makes it more exciting. I'm going to add in the looking emoji, or kind of like the, yeah, I like that one. Come on, little emoji. There we go. Copy. There we go. Now this is the first email attempt to add search alerts. This is going to go from me to the contacts. And I want this to run maybe like 5 days later. Let's save that change. Now, anytime I send out an email, I do like to send out a text that's very similar. And so I'm going to say, hey, first name. I would hate for you to miss out on any hot properties you'd like to know about. And I can either give them a link to my site or just say, can I add you to a property alert I think you'd like, right? And this is search alert attempt or text attempt. First, text attempting to add search alert. This is going to go from the system, oops, from me to the contact. This is also going to run on day number 5. Save. Right, so that's what we're doing. I'm going to do the same thing using squeeze pages, but this time for a market report. Okay, and again, I'm going to do these squeeze pages a little bit fast. Ron asked, can I do a search for homes between 200 and 275? Absolutely. Remember my big tip about this campaign? You want to edit the templates. So you'll want to make your own squeeze pages, because otherwise, as you use this smart campaign, it's going to send them to my website. We don't want that. We want them to go to your website. Okay. So market reports, I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to pick, again, Oceanside. But I might do the city of Oceanside, and then I might even split it up by zip code, right? So again, the idea is I want to give them a couple options so they can pick and choose the alert that is something that they want, right? So page configuration, again, my source is unengaged campaign. And my search alert is going to be, or my hashtag is going to be Oceanside market report. Grab my link, copy my link, add an email. I think we even have a market report. Okay, we'll do this. All right. Start with what's here. No need to recreate the wheel. All right, put in the link for that one. Great. And then I'm going to do one for a zip code instead. 92054, or maybe I'll do a specific area. So like we have an area called South Oceanside. There we go. There's my, oh, there it disappeared. My neighborhood, South Oceanside. Just thinking about it. Sometimes it's called South O. I saw it. It disappeared. Oh, because we're alphabetical. There we go. South Oceanside. Okay, same thing. Unengaged campaign. South Oceanside. Market report. Generate my link. Copy it. Or click here for a report specifically about the South O neighborhood. That's what we call it, South O. We're very cool. Okay. Okay, and this is going to be my first email attempt to add a market report. This is also going to go from me right to my contact. And this time we're going to run it on day, I'm going to throw another phone call in there. So I'm going to do this on day 12. All right, I'm going to add a text message that is also going to go out on day 12. Hey, first name. I just sent you a text about keeping you in the loop with regarding real estate happenings in Oceanside. Are you interested in that kind of thing? I'm going a little fast because I know we're almost out of time. So also from the agent to the contact on day 12. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to build this out a little bit. But I'm going to add one more phone call in there, kind of like right in the middle. And then the last important piece of any smart campaign is to make sure that you close the loop. At the end of this campaign, something needs to happen. You either need to add them to a smart campaign, you need to add them to a search alert. You might decide that this is a cold, dead lead and put it in your sphere, right? I put my cold, dead leads in my sphere, might as well put them on something. So I'm going to add a task at the end of this. And this is going to be my close the loop task. So close or campaign ending. We actually already have one like that. Campaign is ending. Campaign is ending. Here we go. Campaign is ending. Please restart the campaign or add a form of automated engagement, i.e. search alerts, market reports, and or smart campaign. So this will be a task that shows up in on your dashboard. End of campaign, action needed. End of campaign task. So I'm going to run this on day 15. And I'm going to add in a few more items in here. Like I definitely want another phone call. So my next step, I'm going to give you this share token for those of you who are here right now and want it. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to do a couple more changes to this. I want you to keep an eye on this sheet right here, which I already chatted out to you. And anyone who is watching the replay, it's down below in the description. I'm going to do a little bit more kind of touching to that. It's not quite where I want it to be. It's a very good start at getting our purpose accomplished, which is to get people on search alerts, get them to talk to us, get them on market reports. And so we have something that does all of that. So remember, you can edit this. Once you add in that share token, you can edit this. So if you hate that hashtag, you absolutely must edit those email templates, add in your own squeeze pages. Once you've done that, you can turn it on, make it active. So now you can add it to people. You're going to add it to those people in your smart CRM that we set the filter for with our unengaged leads. Add it to 15, 20 people at a time and let the system do the work to get them on automation. So that's it for the day. We went a little longer than I intended. Sorry, I hope you liked it. Yes, Erica, I did not add the share token yet because I want to add a couple more steps in here. I want to add like another phone call in there. And so the share token will be on this sheet, right where it says the share token for today's smart campaign is. So it'll be there in about an hour. Yeah, good call, good call. All right. Ron asked a good question. When you put in the link in the last email, is it dynamic? So yeah, in other words, will it send out updated listings as soon as they hit the market? Yes. So when they click on one of those squeeze page links that I put into the smart campaign, the process that's going to happen is they are going to then go onto my KV Core site. And as they go onto my KV Core site, it is going to take them to see properties that meet that criteria. And that's dynamic. So that will be updating based on everything that's available. So right now, here are my ocean view or my oceanfront homes in Oceanside. In next week, there might be more, there might be less, but the link will always give them what's good. In order for them to be on a smart search alert, they need to actually look at a property and they need to register as a lead. So we have this set up that they'll register as they look at the second property. Okay, so that might mean that they look at this again, right? So I'll probably build out even a different area in here. I'm going to make this a really good campaign for you guys. Just give you a couple more minutes. So you will want to go in and change those links so it goes to your site and not mine, but there's lots of options. Yeah. Can this be used for what happens next campaign? When a buyer gets an offer accepted, email sent on, yeah, absolutely. So when a buyer gets an offer accepted, emails sent on a schedule for inspection, appraisals, utilities, etc. Absolutely, yes. You can use smart campaigns for all kinds of things like that. Definitely, yes. Joe, do we have control in the time of day our email and text goes out to our lead? I don't want an email or text going out at 2 or 3 in the morning. So the email matches the time of day that they registered. Okay. So if that is at 3 in the morning, then the email is going to go at 3 in the morning. But the text messages, those also go out at the time the person registered, but we have an office hours rule. So your office can set the office hours, which is usually from like 8 to 8 is the most common thing that I see. So it won't send text messages outside of those office hours. You can always view what those are if you're really curious by going into the office and looking at the office hours. But to your point, Joe, if you are uncomfortable with that text message going out and not having control of the timing, What you can do instead of having a text message go out automatically, you could send a task. So instead of, let me just pick one. Oh, that's not a good example. This is a good example. So instead of adding an action that is a text message that will go out to your contact, you can add a task. And that add a task would be send market report update text message, right? Something that you know what that means. So if you don't want the system KV Core to automatically send text messages, you can always task yourself to do something. So good question. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Sorry it took a little longer than expected, so I am going to flesh that campaign out just a little bit more. Remember, remember, before you send it out, absolutely go through the templates and edit those squeeze pages so they are your links and not mine, and have fun. Thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your day.